guys, I'm back again. This stuff just fucking writes itself, man. This stuff just fucking writes itself. I've gone before this probably quite likely shit match between USA and Belgium. I thought I'll put on Gary fucking Neville. You always have to say Gary fucking Neville, right? And I fucking hate the little bit they do at the start, and they do it in all shows now, where it's like, we're meant to see kind of, this is them like, behind the scenes being casual, and he's like, what do you see this? What do you see this? What do you see this? What do you see this?
Let's go.
What?
Oh, they've got England.
It's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
English own strawberries. We're the best at strawberries, aren't we?
It's like, yeah, what? It's like multi-millionaire property developer, businessman Gary Neville trying, because he's, this champagne socialist, he has to kind of show his, that he's got his feet firmly on the ground. He might own loads of properties and hotels and be a multi-millionaire, but he can still talk about biscuits to a guy working on this fucking pathetic excuse for a football show. Look at the name of the show. Look at the clickbait. England's greatest ever game. Let me repeat. I hope everyone can read that. England's greatest ever game. Right? So these guys are multimillionaires. Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Ian Wright, and whatever that fucking woman's called. She actually said that David Beckham is one of the greatest English football players of all time. Don't get me fucking started on her. But I switch it on, and within 1 second of switching on this pile of shite, to try to waste time until the pile of shite match comes USA Belgium. Within 1 second, I'm already fucking unbelievably fucking pissed off. England's greatest ever game. That, yes, this is the England that founded Association Football. This is the England that invented this game. This is the England that has been playing international matches since about 1860. So about over 160 years of football matches. Oh, by the way, remember when they were at home in 1966 and they mysteriously, the referee got paid off because West Germany actually should have won. West Germany won. But anyway, apparently, England won this thing called the World Cup in 1966. They keep banging on about it. Right? So England winning the World Cup at Wembley, the only time they've ever won the fucking World Cup, just conveniently at home as well. I'm sure the Queen didn't have anything to do with it. Just like she didn't have anything to do with Princess Diana getting married. Allegedly. Anyway, she's dead, she's not going to move. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Yeah. So 1966 World Cup final, England 3, West Germany 2. The famous, wasn't there a hat-trick by Jeff Hurst? And Jesus, how much pussy's that guy got out of that one? Jesus. The guy's the most boring cunt ever. He's got the personality of a fucking dishwasher. Like, he's got the personality of a fucking wet toilet, right? Like most English guys. And the intellect of my cat's tail. Not my cat. Don't offend my cat. My cat's tail. Anyway, would that not be maybe England? Would that not possibly be a greater game for England? You know, the match where you won your only ever World Cup. Would that not be a greater game than beating Mexico in the fucking round of 16? I mean, I wouldn't like to accuse them of, you know, clickbait, or, you know, just putting a title, because most people watching are probably sitting in their fucking van with a, you know, with the sun. They don't even show tits anymore. Jesus Christ. They're sitting there, like, you know, while they're eating their, you know, fucking sandwiches, and they're like, you know, having a can of Carling, and, you know, and like they're like, well, you know what, they're not playing on the whole have you ever heard of recency bias? I'm sure a guy now that hasn't heard of it, because, you know, he's very rich, but doesn't seem rich in brain cells. Yeah, like, he's the kind of guy, like, he would say his favorite, he thinks the greatest book of all time was Jeff Hurst's autobiography, which was, like, ghostwritten by, like, a 4-year-old child. Anyway, God, my hatred's coming out. Hit with my hatred shows. Anyway, would that not maybe be, would 1966 World Cup final, just like off the top of my head, would that not maybe be a greater match for England? The World Cup final, the only World Cup you ever won, you never fuck up about it. You know, the scenes of Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, Nobby Stiles, Jeff Hurst, that absolute charismatic legend. Would that not be bigger than around 16? And as I say, recency biased. I don't want to accuse you of recency bias, but the England-Mexico game was yesterday, and then now you're asking, is this England's greatest ever game? So in the 160 or whatever it is, 170 years of the England national men's team, because you have to say men's team now, because, you know, there's a women's team. Like, you know, even though I don't actually know even any women who watch them, okay, people are going to say I'm sexist, but for pointing out the fact that I've never actually met a woman who actually watches women's football. I've actually never met a man who watches it either, unless he's trying to get laid, like, with bisexuals with purple hair. Anyway, I mean, I know the England-Mexico game, which is apparently England's greatest ever game. Oh, actually, sorry, question mark. To be fair, question mark. It's just kind of, they're just kind of throwing it out there. You know, it just might be England's greatest ever game. What do you think, guys? I know it was yesterday, and the World Cup that you won, you know, the only one you won, the one that was at home, that was like fucking ages ago. That was like 60 years ago. That was like, don't even think they had fucking television back then. Don't even think they had fucking, did they even have football back then? What? 1966? Are you sure? I thought according to YouTube, football started in 2010. And it's exclusively only the Premiership. not the other 200 odd countries and leagues in the world. Anyway, I'm really bored of looking at Gary Neville's fucking face. Yeah, he's got some snout on him. Just love that, man. Just love it. The little, you get like 5 to 10 minutes at the start where it's all kind of casual before they get really serious. You know, it's like, is those pink biscuits? Are they like? That's the ones they used to have. Gary, you're a multimillionaire. Stop pretending you're still living on a fucking council estate, man. For fuck's sake, man. For fuck's sake. You're the Andy Burnham. Is that how you say it? I don't even know if he's Burnham yet. You're the Andy Burnham of football. I love how because you know how like on Sky they'll get him to, like to start talking about, the state of English football, and he does all this like, very kind of like as if it's like very in-depth intellectual analysis, and it's really, from the heart about English football. Remember the time when, a few years ago that there was going to be a Super League, and he was like, this is not acceptable. This is ripping the heart and soul out of football. And then the guy like makes a fucking shitloads of money out of like going to the Qatar World Cup, making a documentary, and he's basically spends the whole thing basically sucking off all the Qatar, like whatever royalty or whatever the fuck. Yeah, guy. Busted guy, busted. At least Jamie Carragher fucking doesn't hide that he's, Jamie Carragher, the thing about Jamie Carragher is, like if you're out on a night out and he's had a few drinks, he would go from Sky Jamie, very serious, very professional, to Scouse 1980s Everton fan Jamie Carragher spitting at fucking schoolgirls. Yeah, we remember. How the fuck is he still in the job? I mean, actually, no, to be honest, no, he's better than Gary Neville. But anyway, he would go from Sky presenter Jamie Carragher to fucking Scouse. I'm gonna fucking knock your fucking head. That's the worst guy. That sounds Scottish. But anyway, he would go from he would flip in like 0.2 seconds. We're like, who's having it? That sounds like a really bad impression of Noel Gallagher. Liam Gallagher. Jesus, how the fuck did I spend 13 minutes like with just a video looking at Gary Neville's fucking very handsome face?